So while I was pitting the cherries, I was getting some water to boil in my water bath, big giant kettle, so it takes a while for the water to boil. And then that is what I'm going to use to sterilize the glasses and the lids. Now here are the jars, I should say. Um, these are already been washed and sterilized. These are cherries from 2017, but I didn't pit them in 2017. And then over here, I am now boiling the lids and the rings in the water bath for 10 minutes so that they'll be clean and sterile. Alright, so my lids are sterilized and I have them laid out on this towel to cool. Have this handy little magnet, so I can lift them out of the hot water with a minimal amount of touching and putting them down like this so that they can then cool and then they'll be ready to seal the jars. Alright, so it's going to be time now to begin making the brandied cherries. So I have them all pitted, and then I have my ingredients that I am going to be using over here on the stove, and I will start getting that ready. But I'll show you what the ingredients are first. So in this large pan, I've got 2 cups of packed brown sugar and 2 cups of granulated sugar. We got a lot of sugar in this. And then I'm also going to use 3 cinnamon sticks, whole cinnamon sticks, and then also I'm going to use about 3 whole cloves. And I will be putting that in that. The liquid I'm using is these 2 bottles here of cognac. So the 2 bottles of cognac is what I'm going to pour in there with the sugar and start heating it so that it'll melt the sugar down and cook it. And then after everything has been blended and cooked, then I will put the cherries into the liquid, but then I will turn the heat off and let them set for a little while in the liquid. So what I've done here is I've got, this is the cognac, the 2 bottles of cognac with the sugar, and then I've got the cinnamon sticks inside there and the 3 whole cloves, and I've got it on high heat so I can bring this to a boil. And then after it boils, I am going to reduce it to a simmer and keep stirring to make sure all the sugar is completely dissolved inside this mixture before I will put the cherries in. Okay, so I've been simmering this and I believe all the sugar has been dissolved. So I will fish out the cinnamon and the cloves. And then I will put the cherries into this, stir them a little bit, take that off the heat, and then I'll just let the cherries sit in this juice until it reaches room temperature. Okay, so we've got the cherries inside the juice with the cognac and sugar, and we're going to let them come down to room temperature. I will remove this from the stove so that it'll be in a spot where it will cool more quickly. I'm keeping the heat on my water bath so that that water stays hot and won't take as long to bring back up to boiling. When I start putting the cherries into the jars, close them up and then drop them into the water bath so that I can seal them. So there they are. Hoping I had them in the water bath long enough. We will be waiting for the telltale pings as they seal. After I put the cherries and juice inside the jars, and close them. I put them in the water bath for roughly almost 10 minutes because I don't want, the insides to boil. So we'll see. Who knows? Maybe one of them will ping while we're looking. But anyway, there's the batch for this year to be added to the ones that I still have from July of 2017. They will be ready in roughly around October. Won't want to open them up until then. I'll just keep them in my pantry until then, and we'll see how they are. We'll give them a taste. So the cherries are done, they're ready. Some of them have pinged. This is a really great cherry for Manhattans. And I use the juice in the Manhattans instead of using sweet vermouth. I'll use like 2 teaspoons of it when I make a Manhattan. And the cherries are just really, really good. It's also a great little dessert to put over vanilla ice cream. So that's another use for it. But clearly I make these for my Manhattans. And I hope some of you have good success and when you try to make these yourself. They're really quite tasty. And they're really not that hard to make. That one right there pinged already. So did that one right there. Hoping I can catch one. Oh, there's one. That one right there just pinged. So the seals are working.